Alright, Warlocks, get in here. You know what time it is. I got bad news for you. It's 12 noon on a Sunday. It's time for Grandmasters. Staple on those fucking wells, baby. Woo! I love being a Warlock! Our build around for this build is Well of Radiance, because it's really, really good. No shock there. Our primary synergist is Phoenix Protocol. There are two other well exotics that we could use that we have opted not to for various reasons. Mantle of Battle Harmony shoehorns us into solar weapons, which only makes the build more restrictive and doesn't even make it more effective at chaining multiple wells together. Lunafaction boots are good in certain raid settings, but the range boost is less useful in a GM setting, and the reload is basically nothing as long as you have a Titan with a rally barricade. If you want to throw it back and use slug shotguns in a raid, you can use Lunas, I guess. Phoenix Protocol is not only the most consistent, but also the most effective way to chain together multiple wells in places you have no right to be doing so. Oh my god, Onyx, stop being such a goddamn nerd and get to the build. 1, that's harsh. 2, you're right. Setting up our subclass, we are locking in Well of Radiance. No shit. For our abilities, we're rocking Phoenix Dive for some extra mobility, Celestial Fire since it has better range than Incinerator Snap, and Solar Grenade since it's my favorite and tends to be more effective on those higher health targets or just hucking it at a spawn point. For our aspects, we are rocking Hellion for some absolutely zero neuron Scorch, and Touch of Flame for even better grenades. For our fragments, we're rocking Torches, which can save your ass in a situation you need to clear a barrier champ, or just become Radiant. Ember of Char for some easy AoE damage from stuff that we're gonna do anyway. Blistering for even more Giga Solar Nades, and Eruption for even more effective igniting. Let's start moving some numbers. We're cranking up Resil to the absolute max because we need all the help we can get. While I said not to crank up Intellect, we have the ability to do so without sacrificing other build stats. We're only going to tier 7 though, so we're not Giga cranking. Discipline is up next since the Solar Grenade is ridiculous when you huck it onto a spawn point, especially with Touch of Flame. Our Strength is going up to tier 6 because I like hucking fire around, and everything else is whatever's left. In our helmet, we're running Void Siphon because I am a Graviton Lance simp and you can pry that gun from my cold, dead hands. Good luck with that. If I was really sweating, I would probably huck on Queenbreaker and a legendary kinetic weapon and use double kinetic siphon, but I'm not. We're also running Ashes to Assets for even greater orb generation and Powerful Friends because we have one more mod energy and nothing else to do with it. In the arms armor, we're running Momentum Transfer and Impact Induction to throw out even more abilities, and Heavy-Handed because of even more orb generation. In our chest, we're rocking the traditional double resist mod setup, and Reserve for our heavy weapon. The legs armor is running Invigoration for more melees, Innervation for more grenades, and Absolution for more everything. In our class item, we're rocking Bomber for even more grenade cooldown reduction, Outreach for melee cooldown reduction, and Reaper for more orb generation. Next up, we're diving into the artifact. For our champion mods, ding, ding, ding. Next column. Volatile Marksman and Unraveling rounds will supplement our primary and special weapon, so feel free to throw on something else if you're not using a strand special. Oddly enough, there's actually not that much in the third column for us, and by not that much, I mean nothing at all. Moving on to the next column, we're going to use Maligned Harvest for even more Void Weapon shenanigans, and while Flashover seems like a bad choice, combining it with Defibrillating Blast gives us a god-tier champion slaying potential. Yeah, Bolt Charge is that good. While Void Flux seems to be a lock with all of our other Void Weapon perks, we're actually still rocking Particle Reconstruction because it is just that good. Linears are really good this season, in case you haven't noticed. The build is pretty simple. Find some prime real estate for a Well of Radiance, slam it down, and slay the f*** out. Okay, there is a little more to it than that. Ideally, you want to be chaining your wells back to back with no downtime ever. However, Phoenix Protocol hard caps our super gain at 50%, so you will inevitably have some downtime. This downtime leads to us having a bimodal game plan. While you have your well, you are in active mode, while your main priority is slaying out within your well. Keep in mind, you need to put your well somewhere your team is actually going to be able to get kills with it, and not just damage. If you are not getting kills, then you're tying up an exotic slot for nothing. You do also still need to be careful as to the positioning of your well in terms of not dying. Well of Radiance by no means makes you invincible, even if it feels like it sometimes. Especially in GM content where just about anything can kill you. While you do not have your well, you are in passive mode, and you have exactly two priorities. Staying alive, and turning this bar yellow. While you're in passive mode, you need to play like anything and everything can kill you. Because it can. Important to note that not every single well has to get maximum optimal god tier value, because you will get another one. 3 just kind of decent wells are better than 1 optimal one. Slamming your well just to stay alive in a tight spot is perfectly fine, as long as you're not going to die straight after you do that. But does the build perform, I hear you ask? Well, it was specifically made with GM content in mind, so I would hope it at least would do well there. Did I just accidentally make a well pun? Well of Radiance has been god tier for years now, and right now is no exception. It was released 7 years ago, and is still relevant, and will likely continue to be relevant forever. Seriously, just take this build anywhere you need to do a lot of damage, like a raid or a dungeon, or use it in Master and GM Nightfalls, which is its intended purpose. Funnily enough, in lower tier content, the build actually isn't that great, since well spam is completely overkill for those kinds of activities. That's all for this episode of the Buildcraft series. Tune in next time where we're gonna summon lightning by eating crayons. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now! But Onyx, does the build perform well? First of all, nobody asked for your input, you asshole. Second, that feels mean. Actually, you know what? No, fuck you. I don't have to take shit from you. I don't know, don't put that take